on the 8th of November when it comes to the midterm elections? Well, if past is often indicative of the present, we might have a clue by looking back in history at these three presidents. But to the midterms we go. It's just 16 days away. Taking time off the campaign trail just for you is Herschel Walker, Republican nominee to become the next senator from Georgia. Thanks so much. I appreciate it on a big night for you, Herschel. I understand you're getting inducted into the Hall of Fame for high school and college in Georgia tonight?
I am tonight. They're going to have the first ever high school Hall of Fame, and I made it on the first turn, so I'm excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. In fact, when I caught up to you on the road for a day and a half to see what it was like, you did go out of your way to speak to high school kids. They love hearing from you, and I know you never forget your roots. So let's take a look at this poll, fresh off. This is a landmark communications poll. It has you and Warnock deadlocked at 46. If that is indeed the outcome, or if it's less than 50, you're going to have a runoff election. What do you have to do in these next couple of weeks to win outright?
Well, I'm going to get out and continue to meet the people and let the people see that there's a difference between Senator Warnock and myself. And that's one of the things I think has helped me out a great deal. And I think he made a big mistake during the debate. You know, he wouldn't answer questions. He seemed like he was not the senator prepared to be the senator. And I'm ready to start being the senator first day. So I think that's going to help me out a great deal. And as I get out to meet the people, that's what the people are talking about. And he want to continue to talk about more personal things and whether he can do as a senator.
You know, what's kind of interesting is when Tim Scott was with you, with Sean Hannity at the town hall this week, I saw a lot of passion with Tim Scott as he looked at you, because he knows he took a lot of barbs because as an African American, you shouldn't be a Republican, I guess, today. And this week, you heard some barbs called a house blank from the crowd as you made an appearance locally. Have you seen race come up in this election a lot?
I have. I've seen race come up a great deal, and that's what's so sad. The Democrat, Republicans should have nothing to do with race, you know, because you have a black or brown person that want to think for himself, that want to do for himself. People get upset and say, oh, you know, you should be a Democrat. No, you should be the person you were made to be. You know, right now, I believe in lower taxes. I believe in protecting the border. I believe in the men and women in blue. I believe in our military. And I don't know why people think that's something bad. And, you know, I think everyone should believe in that. I believe in school choice. I think kids should, everyone, no matter what zip code you're from, should be able to be a quality education. So those are things I believe in, and I'm going to fight for that. And I don't care what people say and what they can call me, whatever name they want to call me, because they're the one with the problem. I'm going to pray for them. They're the one with the problem, because this is the United States of America. And I want to keep and let everyone know I will fight for you can agree to disagree. Right now, the left want to be able to decide what you eat, what you see, what you do, how you act. They want to be able to decide your whole life. And to me, that's sort of like you're in a Marxist society. They want to do everything for you, but I don't. I want you to have the freedoms and liberties that so many people have died for, and they've given us those rights.
Since the debate, by all accounts, you did exceedingly well. Even people had to reluctantly say that and write it in enemy outlets. The one thing is pretty clear. The Warnock campaign has gotten very aggressive against you. They're running ads now calling you a liar, that you didn't write about domestic violence in your book, and that you have a fake company, and your badge doesn't work. What do you say to that?
Well, what I say to that is you can tell right now they're desperate. They would do anything, say anything to win this seat back. They're very desperate, but I will put my resume up against Senator Warnock's resume any time of the day, any time of the week, and just like in the debate, I would defeat him in that as well. So Senator Warnock need to talk about the policies and get out of personal things, because he has a personal life. My life has been transparent. He has a very personal life, and it's not a good one at that. And I think people saw him up on stage, and I said, don't bear false witness, Pastor. Do not bear false witness, Pastor. And at the same time, I let him know that just because he wants to throw scriptures at me as well, scriptures, I can do that as well. You got to read the whole thing, not half of it, just because you're convenient to it.
So, Herschel, you saying that there's other things about Warnock that you have not brought out because you didn't want it to be personal? I know you did go after him a little about his past and his ex-wife accusations, but you're saying there's more?
Well, I didn't go after Midas Pass because that's one of the things I told my campaign. Guys, y'all can talk about this. Herschel Walker will not do it. There's other things that people hadn't talked about. There's more to the camp that people haven't talked about. Some things that the young man talked about, sexual and physical abuse, that money was paid off. And I'm like, guys, let's not talk about that. Let's get into the policies. Let's get into things that people are doing. Because I say this, Brian, everyone that's running a campaign, everyone that's running in a campaign, they're qualified to run. I think the personal jabs is not fair. I think it's not right. Let's get into the policy, what you stand for. Because what Senator Warnock stands for is not for Georgia. I think everyone sees that. What he stands for is for Joe Biden. And I showed that in a debate, and he got upset about it. But I can't help it. He the one that voted with him 96% of the time. So it's his fault.
Herschel, no doubt about it. You didn't come back for your senior year. You write about that in your book, and you went to the New Jersey Generals where you met a guy named Donald Trump, who was the owner. The friendship still exists today. But the person that really left a great impression was your college coach. He went out of his way, even though he's got some personal challenges physically, to offer this endorsement. Listen.
He's a real patriot of this country. He loves the United States of America. He also is realistic that it can be better. He is not a, quote, politician. There is a need in this country. There is need in this state for somebody like Herschel.
Hey, Herschel, as you go in the Hall of Fame tonight, what does that mean?
That means a great deal to me, to have Coach Dooley. Like I said, I'm praying for he and his family. I love that man. That man was absolutely incredible to me. He's taught me so much, and that's why I take offense to someone like Senator Warnock saying the things about me that he's saying, which are lies, because they want this seat that bad, but you're not going to get it. And I told him, and he decided to come out personal. He just not open up a can of a bear, meaning now you're going to lose even worse. That's why I said there's not going to be a runoff. I'm going to win outright, and then maybe you can go home and think about what you've done and become a better pastor.
Gotcha. A couple of weeks left. Herschel Walker will run through the tape. He always has. Hey, congratulations tonight again, Herschel. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you. Now, I tell everyone to go to teamherschel.com. Let's win this seat back for the great people of Georgia. Hey, God bless.
All right, go get him. Meanwhile, don't forget to DVR the show. If you ever miss it, put it on series so you don't have to worry about it, and watch it the same night. So go have your date, go out to eat, and then remember the show starts at 8.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.